Look, I've been on over 30 cruises, and I still cringe thinking about the money I wasted, the mistakes I made, and the absolute rookie errors that cost me time, comfort, and experiences I can never get back. If you're planning a cruise right now, whether it's your first or your 15th, you are going to want to stay locked in for everything I'm about to share with you, because some of these hacks are so good, they almost feel like cheating. We're talking about strategies that veteran cruisers guard like secrets, tips that can save you hundreds of dollars, and clever tricks that will completely transform the quality of your experience on the ship and at every single port you visit. And I promise you, by the time we get to hack number 7, your jaw is going to drop, because that one alone has saved me personally over $300 on a single voyage. So stay with me. Let's get into it. Hack number 1 is all about the drink package math, and this is where so many cruisers get burned before they even step foot on the ship. Cruise lines spend a lot of energy marketing their premium drink packages as this incredible value, and sometimes they genuinely are. But here's what the glossy brochure doesn't tell you. You need to actually calculate how many drinks per day you would realistically consume to break even on that package. Most premium packages hover somewhere around $80 to $100 per person per day. If you're not someone who drinks from morning until night, you could be massively overpaying. Do the math honestly before you buy. If you're a 2 drinks at dinner and maybe 1 by the pool kind of cruiser, the package probably isn't your friend. However, if you love morning mimosas, afternoon cocktails, coffee drinks, fresh juices, and evening wine, then suddenly, that math flips entirely in your favor. The key is brutal honesty with yourself about your actual habits. Hack number 2 is something almost nobody talks about, and it has to do with your cabin location. The position of your stateroom on the ship has a massive impact on your overall comfort, and most people just pick based on price and view without thinking about any of this. If you're prone to motion sickness, you want to be as low and as central on the ship as possible. Cabins located midship on lower decks experience significantly less movement than rooms at the very front or very back of the vessel. The bow and the stern can rock and sway in ways that will have you reaching for the seasickness pills if rough seas hit. Additionally, if you're a light sleeper, avoid cabins directly below the pool deck or the buffet restaurant area, because early morning chairs scraping and the general noise of food service starting up at 5 in the morning will absolutely wake you up. A little research into the ship's deck plan before booking costs you nothing and can make an enormous difference. Hack number 3 might be the simplest one on this entire list, but people constantly overlook it. Bring a power strip. Not just any power strip though, one without a surge protector, because many cruise lines actually prohibit surge protector models for safety reasons related to their electrical systems. A basic multi-outlet extension cord or strip will let you charge your phone, your camera, your tablet, your partner's devices, and anything else you've brought along without fighting over the 1 or 2 outlets that most staterooms provide. Some newer ships are getting better about this, but plenty of vessels, especially older ones, are still woefully under-equipped in the outlet department. Tossing a small power strip into your bag before you leave home takes up almost no space and solves a genuinely frustrating problem before it ever becomes one. Now here's where things start getting really interesting. Hack number 4 is about specialty dining, and there's a timing strategy here that most people completely miss. Specialty restaurants on cruise ships are often described as the best dining experience on board, and that can absolutely be true. But if you wait until you're already sailing to book them, you're going to be fighting for scraps. The reservations for the most popular specialty restaurants fill up extraordinarily fast, sometimes within hours of a ship departing on a new sailing. What you should be doing is booking your specialty dining before you even board. Most major cruise lines allow you to pre-book through their app or website, and if you can snag early reservations at a discount, which many lines offer as a pre-cruise promotion, you're winning twice. You get the table you want, and often at a meaningfully lower price than you'd pay once you're actually on board. Hack number 5 is one that's going to save you serious money, and it's about excursions at port. Here's the uncomfortable truth that cruise lines would rather you not fully absorb. Their official shore excursions are almost always significantly more expensive than booking the same or very similar experiences independently. Sometimes the price difference is 200 to 300%. Now there's a caveat here that matters. If you book independently and something goes wrong, if your tour runs late, if there's a traffic problem, if anything delays you getting back to the ship will leave without you. That's not a scare tactic. It genuinely happens. So the smart approach is to use independent operators for ports where the risk of getting delayed is low, where you're staying close to the ship, or in a very well-organized destination. For more remote or unpredictable ports, the peace of mind of an official excursion might be worth the premium. Know when to pay for safety and when to save the cash. Hack number 6 is about timing your meals strategically. And this is one of those things that sounds so simple, yet makes such an enormous difference to your daily experience on board. The main dining rooms and buffet areas hit peak chaos at predictable times every single day. Lunch from noon to 1:30 is an absolute zoo. Dinner at the first seating fills up fast. If you're flexible about when you eat, shifting your meals by even 30 to 45 minutes in either direction means shorter lines, calmer service areas, fresher food at the buffet because it's been replaced more recently, and a generally more relaxed experience. Eat at 11:15 before the lunch rush hits. Go to dinner at either 5:30 before the crowd arrives or 8:30 after it has thinned. This simple timing adjustment will make your ship feel significantly less crowded, even when it's completely full. Now we're at hack number 7, and I promised you this one was going to hit hard. Are you ready? Book your next cruise while you're still on your current cruise. Almost every major cruise line operates what's called a future cruise program, and the deals available to you when you're sitting on a ship are frequently extraordinary. We're talking about reduced deposits, onboard credits sometimes worth hundreds of dollars, priority cabin selection, and locked-in promotional rates that aren't available to you once you're back home browsing their website. I once snagged $800 in combined onboard credit and reduced deposits by simply walking into the future cruise desk during a sea day when it was quiet. The agent spent 30 minutes with me. We found a sailing I loved, and I walked away with a deal that would never have been available to me otherwise. If you're already convinced you want to cruise again, and honestly who isn't by day 2, this is the single smartest financial move you can make before you disembark. Hack number 8 is about packing, and specifically about one item that veteran cruisers swear by: a magnetic hook set. Ships are built from steel, and most of the walls and surfaces in your stateroom are magnetic. Bringing a handful of strong magnetic hooks means you can instantly create storage and organization space that simply doesn't exist in a standard cabin setup. Hang your lanyards, your room keys, your hats, your wet swimsuits, your bags, anything you want accessible without taking up counter or closet space. The difference this makes in keeping a small cabin feeling livable and organized over 7, 10, or 14 days is remarkable. Pick up a set before your trip, and you'll wonder how you ever cruised without them. Hack number 9 is about staying connected without paying the absolutely brutal Wi-Fi prices that cruise ships love to charge. Before you sail, check whether your mobile carrier offers any international cruise or ship plans. Some carriers now offer specific packages designed for cruisers that are dramatically cheaper than purchasing the ship's own internet package. Beyond that, here's a useful strategy. Save your heavy internet tasks, streaming, uploading videos, video calls, for port days when you can often find free or very cheap Wi-Fi at cafes and port facilities. On sea days, limit yourself to basic messaging and email if you've purchased a minimal ship package. Being intentional about how and when you use connectivity, rather than just defaulting to the ship's expensive all-inclusive option, can save you $100 or more per voyage easily. Hack number 10 might be the most underrated tip for your physical comfort, and that's bringing a small fan from home. Cruise ship cabin climate control is notoriously inconsistent. Some cabins run warm, no matter what you do with the thermostat. Some people simply sleep better with air movement and white noise. A small portable personal fan takes up minimal space in your luggage and can genuinely transform the quality of sleep you get every night on board. Better sleep means more energy for ports, more enjoyment of activities, and a better overall experience. It sounds almost embarrassingly simple, but ask any veteran cruiser, and a significant number of them will tell you a personal fan is one of their non-negotiables. Hack number 11 is about the art of the embarkation day lunch, and this one will set the tone for your entire trip. Almost every first-time cruiser makes the same mistake on day one. They board the ship, they're excited, and they immediately join the enormous line at the main buffet with every other passenger who just boarded. The result is a crowded, chaotic, slightly stressful introduction to what should be a relaxing vacation. Here's what you do instead. Check whether the main dining room is open for lunch on embarkation day, because on many ships it is, and almost nobody knows about it. You get a sit-down, waiter-served lunch in a beautiful dining room, while everyone else is wrestling over buffet trays. It's a completely different atmosphere, and it starts your cruise on exactly the right note. Hack number 12 is for anyone who wants to experience more of every port without spending a fortune on tours. Research your ports deeply before you sail, and identify walkable attractions within a reasonable distance of the cruise terminal. Many cruise ports are actually situated very close to town centers, historic neighborhoods, beaches, and markets that you can reach on foot or with a $5 taxi ride. You don't always need a structured tour to have an incredible experience in port. Sometimes wandering a market, sitting at a local cafe, exploring a coastal neighborhood on your own terms creates memories that are more authentic and personal than any group tour ever could. The key is doing that research ahead of time so you're not standing on the pier with no plan, wondering what to do. Hack number 13 is about managing your onboard account and avoiding bill shock at the end of the cruise. It is extraordinarily easy to spend money on a ship without realizing how quickly it accumulates, because your room key becomes your payment method, and there's no cash changing hands to make the spending feel real. Set up a daily budget before you board and check your account every single day through the cruise line's app or at a kiosk on board. Most lines make this easy. Catching unexpected charges or realizing you've drifted over your budget on day 3 gives you the chance to course correct. Discovering a surprise $800 bill on your last morning when it's too late to change anything is one of the most stressful ways to end what should have been a perfect vacation. Hack number 14 is something that particularly applies to families, but honestly helps everyone. And it's about establishing a clear meeting point and communication plan for the ship before you sail. Ships are large. They are sometimes confusingly laid out, and cell service works differently on board than on land. Decide before you board exactly where your group will meet if anyone gets separated. Identify a specific, easy-to-find landmark on the ship, a specific bar, a particular lounge, the atrium, and make sure everyone in your group knows it by name and location. If you have kids old enough to be exploring independently on sea days, this plan is genuinely important for their safety and your peace of mind. A few minutes of planning before boarding eliminates an entire category of potential stress. And now we're at hack number 15, and I've saved this one specifically for last, because it's the one that changes the entire emotional experience of your cruise beyond just saving money or improving logistics. It's this. Slow down on purpose. Deliberately and intentionally resist the urge to fill every single hour of your cruise with structured activities, excursions, specialty dinners, shows, and events. One of the most common things you hear from experienced cruisers is that they wish they had simply sat on their balcony more. Just watched the ocean. Read a book while the wind came off the water. Had a quiet drink in a lounge that wasn't packed. The cruise industry does an extraordinary job of making you feel like you need to be doing something constantly. Like any moment spent not participating in a scheduled activity is a moment wasted. It's not. Some of the best moments you will ever have on a ship happen when you have absolutely nothing on your schedule and you let the experience just wash over you. Cruising is genuinely one of the most remarkable ways to travel. You wake up in a new destination, you never unpack and repack, you're surrounded by ocean, good food is always nearby, and the combination of relaxation and exploration is unlike anything else in travel. But it can also become expensive, stressful, and exhausting if you approach it without strategy. These 15 hacks aren't just tips. They're the product of real experience, real mistakes, and the kind of hard-won knowledge that only comes from time on the water. Print them out, screenshot this video, share it with whoever you're sailing with, because knowing this stuff genuinely transforms the experience. If you found this useful, drop a comment below telling me which hack surprised you the most, because I read every single one. And if you want more videos exactly like this, covering everything from cruise line comparisons to packing guides to the best Caribbean ports, make sure you hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. More cruise content is coming very soon, and you absolutely do not want to miss what I have planned next. See you in the next one.